we about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needing wood. Yeah, we going for the sweet, then we mop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up, 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 chop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up.
Well. The Chopping Block podcast returns here on YouTube and Facebook. Facebook's had us down bad for the last couple years, but we found a way. So, hey, we've heard it all the last couple years. We've heard it from you fans. You wanted this to come back. Well, we thought with college football being ushered in, why not usher back in the Chopping Block podcast? So, welcome here tonight. We are in various locations here. I think Alpharetta, Guntersville. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Guntersville, Jacksonville, Florida. So who knows who might join in on the Chopping Block podcast tonight? But hey, it is week 1 of college football. We saw week 0 last week and had a good showing in Kansas State and Iowa State. And now it's for the pudding. So tonight, a big show, a lot of big matchups to talk about. Barry, start us off with topic number 1.
Setting the stage, expanded playoffs, week 1. Does it raise or lower the stakes? I see Bama coming in here. Look, man, you can have all kinds of answers for this question right here. In my brain, I really don't think it damn matters. But with college football, you never know. If you win early, does it give you a little bit more solidity? Or if you lose early, do you still have some kind of way to recover on the back end? I really don't know, but all in all, I think you're going to see most of the same powerhouses still winning, still at the top. So I don't know how much an expanded playoff system is going to help, but I like to hear what y'all got to say about it.
Hey, Craig, start us off.
I'm kind of with you, Barry. I don't think it makes a big difference, brother. I don't know how it's going to. I mean, it's made a bigger difference with all the non-conference power scheduling now. I mean, each team still has a couple cupcakes, but I think that's going to be going away in the next couple of years. But I don't want to say it set the bar lower, but you got room for a slip up or maybe 2, depending on the schedule, right? Where before you didn't. So I don't think it matters. I know I'd much rather be playing the Polytechnic Institute for the Blind of Florida versus Baylor on the road on week 1, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, man, I don't think it raises or lowers the stakes. I think the stakes are still the same. It seems raised right now because we ain't got nothing to talk about for 8 months. So it's a big deal right now, but in week 3 it ain't gonna matter. You know?
Exactly.
And that's a great point. I think you're right. Just on my take real quick, we do have the expanded playoff. We've seen, it don't really matter an early season loss. I think it's really who you lose to and really who you are. Georgia can afford for 2 losses, but a team like Texas Tech or Kansas State really can't afford a second loss. So, I think it's where you are, who you are. And every scenario is a little bit different on that. But KD, what do you got?
I'm 100% for the expanded playoffs. Reason being is because next year the SEC is going to go to a 9-game schedule, so that will absolutely help somebody get in with 3 losses. Because the days of 1 to 2 losses in the SEC is probably done for everybody.
Well, that is, I think that possibly that's why they did it anyway.
I think so.
Just get that extra SEC team in there. And you know what? I get an SEC hell, even though I'm a Tiger, because, I like the underdog, man. I really am the underdog, dude. Maybe unless it's Bama playing somebody. I don't care who they play. You know how I'm kind of side on that one right there. But seriously, if you get one more SEC team in there, you never know. They can make some noise.
I mean, let's keep it real, though. I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten are the only true conferences left. All the other is garbage. They all play weak conference teams and weak out-of-conference teams. So really, the SEC and the Big Ten just need to separate from the rest of the pack, create their own national championship game with their own league, their own in type of NCAA, and just be done with it.
And I don't know why they won't do it.
Katie, I was
Go ahead.
surprised that it did seem, they made that comment that the SEC had to go to a 9-game schedule. And, the SEC seemed very tough on that at first. And just in 2 weeks, they turned and gave it up. I mean, I was kind of shocked that the Big Ten was able to play hardball with the SEC when I thought the ball was in our court. But the SEC will go to 9 games next year, and I don't know how I feel about that yet. I think it's a little too early to tell how that will affect everything. But
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you just say you don't know how you feel about an extra SEC game?
That's right, man.
I don't care. Man, come on now.
It could be good or bad for your team, and
I don't care. But for a football fan, it's great.
No, I ain't gonna complain about that. I have 1 extra week, that. But I'm complaining for my team because it's gonna be my luck that my team loses on that last game, and.
Well, you might need to ride down to Athens and put a little spank on Kirby's ass and get him together.
Well, let's see. If I go down to Athens, it's been a long time, Barry. I've got a lot of energy built up. It could get real ugly if I went to Athens, especially for a night game. I don't think I'm allowed back in Athens for a night game after the Georgia Auburn game, and I believe it was 2019. That was whew. We us boys from Rockmart, we put on a show down there, and I got some video proof. We'll give it to you after this broadcast. But hey, Havoc, walk us through your stance on this first segment, and we'll move on to the game of the week.
As a Florida Gator fan, I love this because we're not a big dog anymore. So this helps us for when top-heavy SEC powerhouses like Bama's, Georgia's, LSU's. So this gives us an advantage to get into the playoff and potentially win. So for me, as a Florida Gator fan, I love it. But for, obviously, if you're a top powerhouse team, it doesn't benefit you. Definitely not.
I think Florida's going to be sneaky good this year.
I hope so.
I think they're going to be the surprise of the SEC, and they may win the East.
I kind of hope they are. It's good for football if Florida's good, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
We'll see, Havoc. I kind of feel like Havoc need a year. He's struggling with the Cowboys. He's struggling with the Jaguars. He's struggling.
Oh yeah.
We
Cowboys,
might have to give him some kind of special watch, man, because he's had some years.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We normally don't do this early in the show, but for week 1, I like right where it's at. The game of the week, number 1 Texas travels to Columbus to face the defending national champions, the number 3 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. All right, this right here is all about, it's going to be a quarterback story. We've got a first-day starter making his first true start. I believe is he a freshman or is he a sophomore? Julian saying.
The Ohio State guy.
I'm not sure.
He's not a true freshman, but he is a redshirt freshman.
Oh, redshirt. Okay.
So redshirt freshman, and then going up against Arch Manning. I mean, this has been the talk of the summer. All we've heard about from every platform in sports is Arch Manning. I'm actually on the Arch Manning hype train. I think he is so talented, and he really has all the tools around him. Before I give it to you guys, I'll give you my take on this game. I think we're going to see trouble in Columbus. They are replacing an absolute unit of a team, a super talented team from last year. Can't remember how many people went to the NFL. I think Texas's defense will be the key here. I don't see Ohio State being able to score more than 21 points, and I think Texas will score 30. I've got the Longhorns by at least 11 in Columbus on Saturday. Craig, take it away.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Dalton. I'm high on Arch Manning this year too. The little poll we sent out. He's my Heisman front runner as of now. for obvious reasons. His last name is Manning, right? I just know I know Sark has had another year. He's had another year in his system now. Texas has recruited like a top 5 team. The last 3 years, he's got his roster built like he wants it now. I think they're going to go to the horseshoe and spank that Buckeye butt. That's what I think. I don't think they replace so much, and this is and I mean I'm a lineman, so I'm a little partial to in the trenches. But I mean, how many Ohio State offensive and defensive linemen went in the NFL? I want to say, look, it was a crazy number, like 6 or something off both sides of the ball. That's the kind of stuff you can't replace with a freshman and plug in there against SEC defense. You just can't do it. It don't work. So
Ryan Day will make a way.
All right, I hear you.
Ryan Day will make a way.
Ryan Day made his way last year. Now he's going to be done for a minute.
Hey,
Yeah, Ryan Day's going to make his way to the locker room after this game.
Like I told Tony, if y'all wanted to get rid of Ryan Day, you should have did it before last year. Now, y'all daddy is immortal. He's immortal. You can't write
Hey, he
college
does seem like
he
seems like a character from Gotham City. I mean, he's a sinister guy,
You can't write the history of college football anymore without Ryan Day. He's immortal. But I will say this right here. I was on the other side when it came down to Arch Manning. I'm like, here's another name. He's got the family. He's got all this and all that. I mean, he hadn't even really played much at all, and everybody's like going crazy. I was like that. I was thinking about that. And then in my off season, the dog days when we don't have anything to do, there's no football, I said, damn, let me go and watch some highlights and just at least get a little feel of this kid. I think he's going to be bad, boy. I think that boy's going to be good. I really do. I think he might be the best Manning yet. And I don't know if I'm just on the hype train. I don't know if it's not slipped in. But I like to see kind of the swagger of the player. He played with an edge, what I've seen with him. I think he's going to come out there and light it up. I really do. I hate to
the
say
team
it, but
loves him as well.
Who is that?
The team loves him as well. I mean, he seems like a great, teammate. I mean, he was out, in one of the other players' neighborhoods, I think somewhere, I don't know if it was St. Louis or somewhere, and just hanging out with the guys, in their neck of the woods. And it seems like he's something different there. He is really well liked. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Hey, KD, the Rolex time is 7:43, and that's right for you, baby.
Man, look, it's too early in the season for me to be agreeing with Barry Wilson. And I hate to do it, man. But look, I hate to do it because the last time I bet against a Manning, he won the Super Bowl. Mannings are always going to be Mannings. But look, man, this game is in the shoe. Defenses are always outpacing offenses in the first part of the season. And Ohio State still got some dogs on that defense. So I really think it could go either way, but I got Ohio State winning a close one.
Wow. Me and Kevin on the same side.
All right, have it.
Let me give me a little swig and enjoy this moment.
No, I got to go with Texas, but I do think it's going to be a closer game. I think the crowd noise will affect Arch Manning at the start, since it's on the road. But his overall talent is going to shine through. Probably start off slow in the first half, and I think he'll have a good second half, and Texas will pull out this one. Let's say maybe 31-27, something like that.
All right. Hey, for those watching here on the Chop and Block podcast, if you're new, we are a group of guys that are just, the Swiss Army knife. We've got Alabama fans and KD. We've got Auburn fans, and they're really two good friends. I think that's how we even got both of you together here. So that's really interesting. Havoc, the Thoroughbred Havoc, former tag team champion of the world and professional wrestler. And it's probably the reason he don't have a shirt on. But if I looked as good as Havoc, I wouldn't have a shirt on either. But the police would get sent to the house here if I had my shirt off, so that's why we keep it on. But and then Beast Decay, man, our great producer, has led this show since day one, and he's a real fan favorite. I see in the comments here. But if you're watching and joining along, tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your team. Throw a question in here. We might bring it on the show, and we appreciate you watching. Hey, segment number 3. This one right here, we hope we have a guest that joins in here magically. And it's one of the crazy Alabama fans we discussed. But Two-Turn Tony, if you are hearing us, come on in the broadcast because we're right up your alley. Number 8, Alabama on the road at Tallahassee and Florida State. Florida State coming off of an abysmal year, probably the worst year in Florida State history. Me and Havoc was watching their opener against Georgia Tech last year, and we're shocked in the locker room there. So, the big question here is, can FSU make a comeback and get back on the right track? They had a great year the year before last. And the question is, we've been talking about it since Saban's gone. Is the dynasty officially over? What does this game look like to you guys? We're going to send it to an Auburn fan for a non-biased with a straight face. Craig, take it away.
I'm gonna mute this crap for a minute.
Hey, you'll like this. You'll like this. Unbiased. First of all, your first question is FSU up and coming. They're going to be better than last year. That ain't hard to do, but it ain't going to happen on Saturday. They're about to get trounced by the Crimson Tide when they roll into town. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, I think the spread's 13.5. And I would almost take Bama in 13.5 with that spread. I mean, that's a you should look. I don't care. That's a FSU being a 13.5 dog to anybody seems kind of weird, but I would almost take that spread. Still some unproven things at Alabama, which I think is going to be true across a lot of teams this year. Quarterback situation's one. They're dropping like flies down there in fall practice. I don't know if you've followed any of that stuff in the chats and what's going on, but I know one injury, guy's going to be out for a month. I think there are 2 or 3 more. Bama gets snake bitten in the fall practice when it comes to torn ACLs and ankles and everything else. The other question is the dynasty over? Yes. Saban has retired. Bama needs to get over it. It ain't going to happen again. They're not going to have a run that's going to be as dominant as that was. He's the GOAT for a reason. That's it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There ain't going to be you're not going to win 8 out of 10 and expect to be in the national championship game every year, which is what every Alabama fan, everyone you know of thinks is, if they're not playing for a national title, oh, we got screwed. We didn't make the playoff. We lost to Oklahoma. Well, I don't know what happened. We lost to Vanderbilt. I mean, come on, man. Let's
Are you talking about the Steph Curry game, 24-3?
I mean,
I got to write this crap down.
They had, you look at getting the receipt book out. You look at look at last year what they had at quarterback. He was a running back that tried to play quarterback.
Worst quarterback of the Saban team.
I wouldn't say the worst because Auburn was real close there. Auburn's quarterback last year liked to give it to the other team right at the exact wrong time of the game to pull that off.
No, I'm just saying he was the worst quarterback at Alabama during the Saban era.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. But are they going to be back? Are they going to contend? They're going to contend because they keep recruiting, and they do have a good head coach. And they got every redneck down here in the trailer parks just throwing money at them. So they're going to have an NIL bank, and they're going to get players. I mean, it is what it is. I think the days of it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. I like these kids are getting paid for what the university makes off of them and what the NCAA makes off of them. But we got to put some guardrails in, man. It's out of control. To when we had one kid this year that showed up that didn't get his bag when he didn't show up to camp. I mean, we're having like contract holdouts in fall practice. You know what I mean?
Craig, why didn't we have this same energy for the million years that the kids were not getting paid? Why didn't we say that was out of control?
Nobody did, man.
You know what I mean? Forever though, they made billions and billions and billions of dollars, and nobody said nothing.
Here's what I think, Barry, and I can just go off my own personal experience. If you gave me $4 million when I was an 18-year-old, I would have a huge party with motorcycles and midgets, and we'd have a catapult. I mean, an 18-year-old, for the most part, don't need $4 million. So let's set up some guardrails for these kids and let them. I mean, I know it'll never happen this way, but put some of that into trust of when they graduate. Or hey, you get a bonus if you hang out for 3 years, or you hang out till you go pro if you don't transfer.
I like that.
Big bonus structure on the back end, something along those lines. Because right now it's the wild, wild west, man.
I would like to see. I actually came off of it a little bit. The portal thing. I like it. I like it to a point because it seems like it's making a difference. I think we all can say it is making a difference in the competitive
Another
space.
thing, they need to change the time when the portal opens and closes. I mean, that is the absolute worst time of the year if you're trying to build a team from a football standpoint. Well, hey, the portal's open. Well, who are we going to lose? Who are we going to keep? Well, we got to go get somebody. You're trying to recruit these high school kids. I mean, what's the answer to that? I don't know. Are you going to be Lane Kiffin and just get the best team for hire you can get every year in the portal and not recruit like hard? Or are you going to try the freeze method and try to get amalgamation of both? I mean, what do you do? Nobody knows, man. We're in some uncharted time. The only thing I got to say is we got college football on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week. So this is a good week, fellas.
And Monday.
Well, I was gonna say something, but I can see Kevin stroking. I'm gonna hold my comments after he go ahead and have his word. Have a word, sir.
This may surprise you, but I'm reasonable. I disagree with the dynasty is dead. Because look, let's be honest. Before Saban came to Alabama and started donkey punching everyone, a dynasty was really a team. In 3 years, they win 10 games a couple years, and they win a national title the next. Saban redefined a dynasty, if you want to call it that, where you have to win a national championship every other year to be a dynasty. So I think that Alabama's recruiting at a high level. We're recruiting just as good as we were when Saban was here. Now, I'm not saying our coaches now are anywhere near that level because they're not, but we'll see. But as far as our opening game, I watched Alabama every single year or every game last year, and I have no reason to be overly optimistic that Alabama's just going to roll in and beat Florida State by whatever they want to. We lost Tim Keenan, which is all SEC defensive lineman, in camp this year. He's going to be out until week 3 or 4. He's going to have a tightrope surgery. We've lost our starting running back. He's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks, maybe longer. So, it just depends, how much better is Alabama's second team players than Florida State's starters. But Florida State also, you really don't know what you get. You're getting talent down there. That they got a bunch of just guys that get off the bus. You look like they're national title contenders, but the coach hasn't really done a good job at getting them together. But I'm not overconfident. I do think Alabama's going to win. I think Florida State will probably cover the spread. And then again, Alabama could surprise me. Last year, I think we were just a quarterback away from competing for the SEC championship easily. He just turned the ball over too much. We just need Ty Simpson to not turn the ball over, get the running back going, make a few big plays every game. And our defenses should be pretty good. So I got Alabama winning, I'd say by 9.
Dang.
Hey,
You say
before
nine, I might
before
like
I throw it
Florida
to you,
State.
Barry. Hey, I got a call earlier this week, and I meant to bring this up. The call was from Atlanta, Georgia. I accepted it, and they said, "Hey, sir, we got your grass. It's ready to be put in right now." And I'm like, I thought it was a prank call. I said, "I don't have any grass coming to my house." And they said, "You don't run the field in Tallahassee at Florida State University?" Come to find out, they ain't even got grass on their field, Barry. The grass was put in yesterday for this.
Literally, we'll be lucky if 7 of our players don't have torn ACLs after this weekend.
I mean, this is insane from a university to me, with this much class in Florida State, to prepare a field. And I know they got great science and this and that, and I don't see how you do this, especially with Florida's climate, in the rain. I mean, I just don't think this is going to be a good scenario at all, especially for a great matchup like this. But Barry, let me hear it. What you got on this one?
You don't need grass to play football. When I was over there in Projects and Route, all we had was red dirt and rocks, and we throw the ball up in the air. You catch it, whoever catch it, you better get the hell on, or you're gonna get your head bashed in. Hey, listen, we say we want football. Now we talking about grass. I don't want to hear about no damn grass. That's just another excuse Bama gonna use with Florida State that football.
Why
That's
is
how
it
it
an
is.
excuse?
Look, my ears are already tuned in. Hey,
If
listen,
we have
okay.
7 players that get injured because the grass is breaking loose, I mean that's not an excuse.
Hey,
That's just the truth.
get some damn better cleats. Get some cleats. Get whatever you need. Just come down
They'll
and
be
come
playing in
tell us
turf shoes.
Hey, that quarterback been talking some cash shit, boy. He
Hey,
might
yeah.
got he might got his team ready to go, boy. I'm
He's
telling you
confident.
now.
Hey,
He's
Barry,
confident.
he's either going to the bank on Monday morning to cash checks, or he's going to the Waffle House to enjoy a big meal after that loss, because there ain't nothing in between there. It's either cashing
Hey, look, man,
checks
let's
or
be honest. Let's be
taking it
honest.
up.
What is he supposed to do? I
don't blame him
know
for
it ain't
talking the
Bama.
talk. I don't blame
know
him.
it ain't Bama. I know it ain't really Bama. It's just something that look like Bama. They wear the uniforms, but ain't really Bama. So they have to just say what they have to say. Look, the dynasty has been over. What are we talking about? It was over when Saban was there. It was over. Okay, they like to listen. He described his dynasty one way. I'm gonna describe my dynasty. What I have
Can't describe
always
it. None of your
said-
team's ever been through a dynasty.
Well, I know it.
You know what it is.
But I've observed a few of them, and I've joined a few of them doing them, right? But here's the thing. Okay, so if you win in a 5-year span, you win 3 chips, you're a dynasty. That's what I always heard. That's what everybody say, right? Okay.
Well, in that case, the only dynasty there's been since 2009 is Alabama.
That's true. I would give you that, but the dynasty has been over.
I would say Georgia, when they won 2 championships in 3 years or whatever, that could be considered a dynasty.
That ain't no dynasty. That ain't no dynasty. You got to win 3, baby. You got to win 3.
What about Auburn in the 40s, man? Apparently,
I mean-
we won a bunch of national championships nobody knew about.
I mean, I'm cool about that. So I want nobody have to be worried about LSU.
And let me tell you, I'm worried about 2 things. Not worried, but I'm excited about 2 things when it comes to Alabama. And that's the board and Mr. Ty Simp. Okay? I'm telling y'all, everybody wants to crown Debo already. I think it's something missing from that. I wanted him to be Alabama coach, right? Not because I thought he was going to be a good coach and he's a likable guy. But I really would have took Lane first, but they don't like Lane for some reason. But Debo, he don't have that thing that Coach Saban has, and I think it's a huge disconnect.
Well,
that's my opinion. I don't know if it's true, but that's my opinion.
When you sleep with a huge booster's wife while coaching Alabama, you're generally not ever going to get offered the head coaching job. That's what Lane Kiffin did.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate because he was my first pick too. I like Lane just because how cocky he is. I don't, But,
yeah.
I think I don't know who you're listening to, Barry. I mean, I you know how big of a Bama fan I am. I spend time on the main message boards, all the big Bama boards, and nobody's really overconfident. I mean, everybody knows the board's not saving. So I think you let TJ rub off on you a lot more than the standard Bama fan.
well, that's what. Well, I'm glad to hear somebody say that because I like the dude, but like I believe this last year, and everybody wants to get on Miro's ass, man, which I don't like that really because I feel like if you had Miro this year, it's going to be a whole lot better than that Simp y'all got. But if Saban had been there last year, y'all might would have been contending for the name. And so that's what I'm trying to say. That you don't think so?
I don't.
You don't think?
I mean, I have nothing. I want every. No, I don't. Every Alabama quarterback, I want them to win a Heisman, to succeed at the highest level. I was a big Jalen fan. When Jalen would he has no running instincts. He's very fast. He's athletic, but he does not know when to take off and run or stand in the pocket to throw the ball. It's just he doesn't have good football instincts at that position. And he made the worst turnovers at the worst times and put our defenses in terrible spots. Against Vandy, we couldn't move the ball against Vandy. I understand Vandy's quarterback and their offense is tough and good.
You don't think
It is some coaching, but here's the problem, Barry. With Jalen Milroe, Alabama could not put in an intermediate passing game because he could not accurately throw the ball every down. You couldn't trust him on 3rd and 7 to hit a slant pass. So it was either feast or famine with Jalen. And I like Jalen. He's a great kid, and I hope he succeeds in the NFL. But he really frustrated me a lot, like Jalen Hurts, when he was at Alabama. Now, I'm not saying I've seen quarterbacks back in the day like Jason Campbell in what year did they go undefeated, Craig? 2004.
Wasn't it 04?
2004. Yeah. Jason Campbell was average as grits in 2004, and he could have and should have probably won the Heisman in 2004. 3, he was bad. 4, he was great. A lot of that was coaching, but a lot of that's just because of his growth. Now, I'm not saying if Jalen came back this year, he might have been a completely different player with more coaching, but he just was not ready last year. And I'm not saying Ty Simpson is. Ty Simpson's more accurate. He's not as athletic. He's not as tall. He's not as big. He was a 5-star kid, but I don't think he deserved that 5-star rating because he played in like 2A. So he hasn't been tested even at the high school level against the best competition. But if he can just do what every Alabama quarterback that's ever won a national championship did, just don't make mistakes, run the ball, make a couple chunk plays, and play good defense, and don't give up 30 points a game. It's just the easy recipe. It's the same thing Kirby Smart took with him to Georgia. What great quarterback did Kirby Smart win a national title with? None.
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's on. I think he's on the Rams as a backup.
I seen him in preseason. He looks good.
He might look good, but he's not a starter, and I can't. It's hard for me to. I mean, I trust what you're saying. It's just hard for me to believe he's a backup because, I mean, he's really a 3rd, 4th string guy in the NFL at best. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, you just need a quarterback at Alabama not to hurt you.
Well, I'm hoping that he lets you down.
He very well could. I'm not high on him because I've never seen him in a game have a great game. So
yeah. What you got,
You're up next. Last one on this segment.
Yeah, I got to go with Bama. I mean, the dynasty being over. I mean, it's tough to say that. Yeah, I get what you guys are saying about Nick Saban, and DeBoer's not the same guy, but this team's probably going to win 10 or 11 games this year. They're definitely going to beat Florida State. I really like the quarterback for Florida State's confidence. I just don't think he's going to be able to back up what he says. They don't have the athletes Alabama has. They haven't been recruiting the way Alabama has. I get 2 years ago, FSU went undefeated, but I think they got a lucky year. If you look at the rest of their seasons before 2 years ago, they've been a bottom dweller. And I think Bama wins this game easily. But, yeah, the dynasty's probably over, but it's still a 10-11 win team. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I agree. The dynasty, I mean, technically, we haven't won a national championship since 2020. The dynasty is over right now. I'm just saying it could start back up, and we're not winning every other national title.
Yeah.
We could win one every 3 years, and I consider that a dynasty. Or we might not. We might be talking in 20 years before it's our next one.
All right, well, segment number 4, and this one's going to be close on Barry's heart, and maybe even KD. I'm sure he's going to give him something to hear right here. But number 9, LSU travels to Death Valley to take on number 4, Clemson Tigers. Now, guys, this is the best quarterback matchup we'll get all year. I don't know if anybody has anything to argue with that, but Klubnik and I just drew a blank.
Nuss.
Yeah,
Nuss.
Nussmeier. There you go. Garrett Nussmeier. This is going to be an absolute showdown on Saturday night. I believe it kicks off at 7:30. And you know, I believe isn't this the battle of Death Valley? Like whoever has the real Death Valley, I guess.
Clemson's always had the real Death Valley.
We already know who Death. Everybody knows who Death Valley is.
Clemson has the Rock.
I've been to both.
LSU
already know who it is.
LSU is Tuscaloosa West. That's all it is. We own that dump. And it's always been like that.
Everybody know who Death Valley is.
They're beautiful places. They're loud. It's going to be rocking on Saturday night when those boys run down that hill. And to me, you know, the main point besides the quarterbacks in this game is, you know, we're looking at two opposite sides of the scale here. I mean, you've got Brian Kelly, who realistically, in my opinion, if he loses this game on Saturday night, he is on the hot seat. And if he loses another one early in the year, he's out. He is out. And to me, this is interesting for Dabo Swinney. He's won 2 national titles. He's always recruited well. He's never been in the transfer portal, which I think is extremely interesting. I think he's going to have to eventually change in that way. But he always puts great football teams on the field, and he's going to do that Saturday night. In my honest opinion, I think Clemson is going to be too solid completely as a team for LSU to win. It's going to be a tough environment, and I'm just going to throw a hard shot right here. When the going gets tough, the first one to crack is the head ball coach, Brian Kelly. It ain't none of the players at LSU. It's him. So what I see happening, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if Clemson gets up big early and then, you know, Nussmeier has to just pass heavy and try to get him back in the ballgame, which he can do. He did that last year at South Carolina. So, I mean, this is going to be an interesting game, but in my personal opinion, I've got the Clemson Tigers by 10 points or more. Craig, take it away.
More. What's our more?
10 or more.
I might need to put a little wage on that one.
Yeah, I got to pull a course on that one. Not so fast. No, not so fast.
There you go.
I think the Tigers are going to roll down there, and you know, I don't think Clemson's going to have an answer for the physicality up front. And I know LSU, I've watched them for years and years and years, and they got a field out back somewhere where they just plant wide receiver seeds and grow 5-stars and grow NFL prospects. So I have no question that they're going to have at least 2 wide receivers that are going to go pro playing this game. I've not looked at that. But I would almost guarantee if they can, A, keep Nussmeier off his back and keep him out of his head, if he gets in that game early and gets a little rhythm started and opens up the intermediate passing game, I think LSU can win. I don't think – you were talking about the hot seat. I'm with you. It's got to be Kelly on the hot seat versus Dabo. Dabo is I mean, they're going to make a statue of that dude down there. He won 2 chips for him, right? He's in a conference and with a team that can win 9 games a year, and that's a success. Kelly is not. Kelly is not. So this is a put up or shut up kind of year. I don't know if it's quite as hot as you making it out, Dalton, that if he loses this game and loses another one early, he's going to be fired. I don't know what his buyout is, but I bet it's substantial.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
This will go a long way. What LSU will do is they'll win some games like this and then they'll lose some stupid game you wouldn't think about later on in the year that matters more. That's the LSU way. That's how it seems like the seasons always go to me. They'll come into a game with a bunch of hype favored for some reason, favored to win, and the whole path is in front of them, and then lay a big turd later on down the year. So I don't see them. I think LSU beats Clemson straight up. I don't know what the spread is.
One thing, Craig, that ain't gonna happen is we're gonna score more than 3 points. You can believe that in this.
I agree.
We're gonna do that. I don't know about Bama, but we're gonna do that. Okay, look, man. I'm the one who been saying that Brian Kelly need to go. He ain't made for Louisiana. He's like a professor. He need to go teach social studies and get the hell out of Baton Rouge. I just don't. When I see that dude, I feel nothing. And y'all know football has a lot to do with how you feel. It's similar, not as bad That's how I feel about DeBoer. But DeBoer, he can get fired up sometimes. Never really see Brian Kelly get fired up. And I do believe he's on the hot seat. He's not going to get fired during the year, but he have a bad year, maybe gets fired at the end of the year. His first game, everybody wants to talk about it. 0-5. LSU ain't won a game since 2020. Oh, let me do a little. And then I had a Bama fan give me a 5-0 for Bama since 2020. You ought to see them bullshit teams that Alabama been playing in since 2020 this season open. Don't talk to us about no 5-0 when y'all playing Rock Hard, Cedar Town, and Cass. Get out of here with that.
Hey, Barry,
Go ahead.
What's the floor this year for LSU? What's the floor? What do you think? 8 wins? That's the floor?
Oh, 9. 9 at least.
9 is the floor. So 9-3 is the season.
9 the floor. 9's the floor. And if we can get a little piece of a defense, if we can get Perkins and Weeks and all them bars going, if we can get something going, we might push. Okay? Now listen, let's be honest. I know everybody want to jump on LSU because we got that swag, we do what we do, right? But you got to admit, if we get into the dance, if we get into it, and it's a lot of ifs. Kevin has his ifs, I have my ifs. I sure rather put nuts on the field than the center. So I believe if we can get in there and we can win some tough ones, we're going to lose some tough ones. You know, I like to win this first one, but it don't matter as much as y'all saying it is. Okay, we expanded. We already know we win. We can make a stab at the SEC. We can win. We can win the SEC. I believe that we can do that. I don't know if we can win a natty, but I do believe we almost there. We close, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm not like some of these other crazy fans that just want to promise all of this. I just think we got enough talent to at least be a little bit dangerous. That's what I think LSU is.
Barry, I wanted to ask you this before I pass it to Havoc. I don't know if you saw the SEC on Netflix, the special, the series they just released here the last couple of weeks or a month ago. That show made me despise Brian Kelly even more. I mean, he seemed like the biggest wimp. I mean, you would think he's coaching a chess team instead of a football team.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
And for him to be down there, listen, I'll be honest. I was walking through the crowd and people. I did not have an Alabama shirt on. I was neutral when I went and watched Alabama LSU. I had people throwing drinks at me. You know, I'm surprised I didn't get hit with an andouille sausage. I mean, them guys are absolute crazy down there. And you know, hey, listen, I came Cajuned up. I came with a belly full of crawfish etouffee, and it still wasn't good enough for them. I mean, that place is insane, and for them to put up with a nerd like Brian Kelly is absolutely laughable.
I don't get it.
But
I don't get it.
That's the show really hurt my feelings for LSU and Brian Kelly. I was like, I can't get it. I mean, I can't get it. He's like the author of the Diary of the Wimpy Kid, you know. But Havoc, take it away.
Well, I mean, you guys have said a lot that's true about Brian Kelly. These are the types of games he loses. I got to go with Clemson here. I don't think it'll be a blowout. Yeah, Nussmeier's a good quarterback. He's not quite as good as the kid from LSU, or not LSU, Clemson. And yeah, it's going to be around in the 30s, I would say. But I do think Clemson's going to pull this one out. Because, yeah, you guys said a lot of points I would have said about Brian Kelly. It seems to me like he underachieves every year with the talent they have. I do think they could win about 10 games this year. I don't see them winning more than 10. But, yeah, they're definitely going to lose this game. Brian Kelly consistently loses games like this.
KD, finish us off on this segment.
Yep. So a couple things. First of all, I know, we haven't played the strongest teams, and we're 5-0 the last 5 years. And LSU had 1-1. But what Barry forgets is Alabama has beaten LSU 4 out of the last 5 years. So we actually played each other. So it don't matter who we play at the start. We kick that ass when we go to play at LSU. So that's one. All right. So anyway, the the next big first game Brian Kelly wins will be his first. I've watched LSU. Those players quit on Brian Kelly. When you lean on Brian Kelly's teams, the players, just like their coach, they quit. And I want to pick LSU just for the simple fact that you would think if you flip the coin 6 times, one time it would land on heads for Brian Kelly. But I'm afraid that it's not. And Clemson, I think, is back this year. I think they got the quarterback finally. Dabo always has good play in the trenches, and he's got athletes on the outside just as much as LSU does. So I'm going Clemson, but I'm going to go 3 to 5 points. And I think it's going to be close, but I think when it's nut cutting time, LSU will lay down just like their head coach and lose the ball game. Now, as Barry said, it ain't going to matter as much as the season goes along. But Brian Kelly has also been known to lose 2 to 3 games in September before. So they drop the ball before they can even get going. And then it does matter because they're out of it. They're just hoping to ruin Alabama's season or Georgia's season or Auburn or Florida season. That's really over the past few years, that's been their only goal. So I do think the quarterback's good.
I just hope that we can beat Vandy and Oklahoma.
I hope so too.
Hey, Oklahoma's gonna be tough this year, bud. It ain't gonna be like it was last year.
No. And
Interesting
Vandy,
takes, guys.
Vandy played good too. I mean, Vandy almost beat Georgia. They almost beat Texas. They're not dogs.
Hey, and they're going to be something to watch this year, no doubt about it. I think everybody's still sleeping on Vandy for some reason. We'll see, what happens. I think Vandy's more dangerous on the road when they come to your place. I mean, nobody's really afraid to go to Nashville and, hear a couple country music songs, have a couple cold beers, and then go whoop up on the Commodores on Saturday night. But
Steve, you watched that SEC show. What do you think about Vandy's coach? That guy's a coach. He's a football.
I like that guy.
He's intense. I mean, he's great for Vanderbilt, and he's really. I mean, he might be doing some voodoo stuff in Nashville because he's got Diego Pavia thinking he's going to win the national championship. So, maybe on college football, EA Sports College Football, does Vandy win a national title? But it ain't happening. I can tell you. But hey, big props to him for at least having the courage to say that on national television. But segment 8, and arguably one of the most interesting games of the entire week, something that I cannot wait for. I think this comes on Friday night. I could be wrong, but I think it's Friday night. Georgia Tech travels to Colorado. And what makes this matchup interesting to me, a little history on this, Georgia Tech and Colorado were co-national champions in 1990. And that is, both teams had unbelievable seasons that year. Colorado actually held on to a perfect season with a Hail Mary in one of the games that year. So this game, it's an interesting coaching matchup as well. Of course, Deion Sanders kind of rules any conversation that he's involved with. But Georgia Tech's coach has done a phenomenal job. He almost upset Georgia in Athens last year. They played like 20 overtimes or something like that. Unbelievable game. And, the quarterback matchups here. I believe the kid for Georgia Tech is last name King. He is an absolute warrior. I mean, he is one of the better quarterbacks in the country, in my opinion. What he did against Florida State last year in Ireland was impressive to start the year off, and he looked good every game. So, I guess I am a little shocked. I mean, the quarterback is great. At Colorado, he's had a pretty good college career, and he's transferred in from Liberty University. But, to have that 5-star freshman in Juju, I'm shocked he's not going to be on the field on Friday night. But, this one's going to be interesting. I actually think Georgia Tech's going to win by 2 touchdowns. I think they are a far better team. Offensively, they could really run Colorado out the building. Colorado has been Swiss cheese on defense for the past, 2.5 years. So I think we're going to see more of that. I don't think Deion is really doing – he could bring Warren Sapp and all these people to coach defense. It's the kids playing. He don't have the right players on defense. So Georgia Tech over Colorado by 14 for me. Craig, what do you got?
Yeah, I got Georgia Tech. The Ramblin' Wreck's going to be rolling out of Boulder with a big old win. I'm afraid the honeymoon might come to a screeching halt with Coach Prime this year. I look at the last 2 seasons. I think they were kind of best case scenario that he could have got into Colorado, right? I mean, with Shedeur and his kids, what was it? Shiloh? Is that his other kid's name, Barry?
Yeah.
Shedeur and Shiloh. Kind of knowing what he had. He brought had a lot of kids with him. Travis Hunter, obviously, had kids that he developed for 2 or 3 years. He's going to have a new stock this year. And Georgia Tech's returning 9 starters. Georgia Tech was not a pushover last year to anybody. I just do not see them not being able to out physical and just manhandle Colorado's defense. So, and I don't know what the answer to that is for Colorado. Can they win a shootout? I don't think so. I don't think they can win a shootout. I'm with you. I think it's going to be lopsided unless some crazy stuff happens early. But I'm with you. That Haynes kid, King, is good. They got the leading rusher back. Again, 9 starters on offense and defense are coming back from Georgia Tech. So I think Georgia Tech's going to roll pretty big. It's going to be good. And I feel bad. Coach Prime is going to be, dragging up down the sidelines with a nephrostomy bag hanging out. I mean, I got to give the dude props about coaching and putting his thing in. I get it, but he just can't. He hadn't figured out yet, or just doesn't care enough. I want to say don't care about it. That's the wrong term. I think he cares about it, but it's just a different thing. And I think that had a lot of things to do with Saban retiring as well. It's just a different era of football with these kids now than it ever has been. And the effort it takes to land one of these kids, along with the boosters being in line at the same time to make the offer and to make them stick. I don't think Prime wants to deal with that shit. I just don't. I don't see it. I think his health has kept him from dealing with it this year. I just don't think they have the horses to match up. I'll be surprised if Colorado goes to a bowl game this year.
Yeah, I'd definitely be surprised. I don't know. Look, man, a lot of this stuff we just don't know. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know what the hell Colorado is going to be. So the only thing I can do is look at the program and its state and kind of the aura around it. There's so much that goes on there's so much that's going on with Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh and Prime, and all of that has to push the program to the back seat a little bit. You know what I mean? And when you're playing college football today, that doesn't work. It's got to be about football. And I don't know. I think it's more about entertainment than it is about football, really. Maybe it won't be as much this year with Shedeur being gone and Hunter being gone, because let's think they were 2 prolific, personalities, and definitely player in Travis Hunter, and Shedeur is okay as well. So, but I like the King kid. I like him. He he's a dog. Yeah. So it's going to be a wonderful game for us to watch. Hey, who knows what Colorado is going to do? You never know. And it's a home game, so that's a good test for King and Georgia Tech. So I'm looking forward to it. If I had to pick a team, I probably would pick Tech as well.
Havoc, take it away.
Yeah, I got to go with Georgia Tech as well. Colorado's lost too many athletes. And when you lose players, like Travis Hunter, Shedeur, that other Horn kid, the wide receiver, and then Shiloh on defense, it's just they don't have the level of talent to compete with Georgia Tech. And like you guys said, that kid Haynes King, he's got a lot of experience now, and he's played some big college football games. So, I expect Georgia Tech to win this game.
KD?
I'm the same way. I think Georgia Tech's going to win. I think they got more talent, more returning experience. Brent Key's a really good coach. He's really intense, like Clark Lee and Vanderbilt. But I'm a lot like Barry, man. I don't know enough about Colorado. I know Deion knows that he needs to address the interior of his offensive and defensive line. Has he? I don't know. I haven't kept up with it. Bringing in Warren Sapp, to me, is a step in the right direction. But I'll say this about Deion, man. Look, I've watched a lot of him this year. I've seen a lot of the stuff he's went through. He has overcome so much. I watched his comments about his son, the one that got cut from Tampa for throwing a punch. He holds his kids accountable. He's a good father. He seems like a leader of men. It'd be hard for me not to want to play as hard as I can for that guy. So it would not surprise me for Colorado to come out and keep it close for a long time in that game. But it really does at the end come down to the Jimmys and Joes, and Georgia Tech's got more than they got. But who knows? We'll see.
I agree. That's a great point, KD. Hey, this one right here is going to be interesting. Great storyline with this one. Virginia Tech travels to number 13 South Carolina. This is, in my opinion, so interesting because obviously the head coach of South Carolina's father was, the great Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech and built that program from the ground up, made it is what it is today. And we know he's, Virginia Tech's a soft spot in his heart, and he's talked a lot about this matchup I've seen on ESPN. So this is great for college football. In my opinion, when Virginia Tech and South Carolina are, good, it's great for college football. So, this right here to me, we don't know much about Virginia Tech. I think what we see is going to be the first, it's going to be our first impression of them. We don't know much about them. We know a lot about South Carolina, and this is the year they are destined, they're prime to make a college football playoff run. You could make a very good argument that they should have been in it last year. There was a couple teams that had an argument. So I think their goal is to get in that ball game, or get in that tournament this year. It's going to be an uphill battle for them. The SEC is great, of course, but at quarterback, Lenore Sellers is unbelievable. I saw your questions, Barry, in our little segment there. Will he be a Heisman finalist? I put no. I don't think he will be, but I think that is not going to that is not to say that he won't have a fantastic year, and he could arguably be a top 3 quarterback in the SEC. But the SEC quarterbacks don't get much love when it comes to the Heisman poll, so I felt like it was a no. But to me on this game, I think South Carolina is going to be super talented, and they're at home. It's going to be a wild environment there in Columbia. I've been there a couple times. It's going to be a fun one to watch. But I got Carolina, and I got Carolina easy. I think they're going to make a statement and show the SEC and the college football world that they're ready to go. Craig, what you got?
Yeah, South Kakalaki is going to beat Virginia Tech. As much as that pulls in your heartstrings and the Beamer Bowl and all that stuff, and that's going to be great. And it's great for them to go back. They got too many studs. You were talking about relevance of program. I mean, they were relevant last year, quietly relevant. It's like it was like kind of an unspoken word among SEC groups. Nobody talked about it, but then they had a pretty legitimate beef to why they should have been in the last 12 there. I mean, they were a couple plays away from having a real legitimate beef from being in the playoffs. And who would ever thought you'd say that? South Carolina in the playoffs, right? So Beamer's got them headed in the right direction. I think this is going to be an absolute stomping at home. I've not looked at anything Virginia Tech. Don't get me wrong, but it seems like they hadn't been relevant in a long while. It's real hard to come from another conference and come to an SEC game or SEC home stadium, especially on opening weekend, and give them the what's what. So I'm going South Kakalaki.
What'd you say, Kevin?
Yeah, same thing. I think Carolina's going to win the game. I think it's going to be pretty easy. If Lenore Sellers starts the season like he finished last season, they're going to be a huge problem for every single person they have on their schedule. They are really good. Again, we watched that SEC show on Netflix, and I wish I hadn't it because there's a lot of guys on other teams that I'm a fan of. Shane Beamer's one of them. He's a great father, high character. Just listening to him interact with his players. I mean, how can you not want to just play your heart out for these guys? So I think he's in for a big season.
Dang, Kevin, he's got quite humble. Is that what happened when you get your ass whooped? You get humble. Yeah. I like this new version of you, man. Good for you, Kevin.
It's temporary.
Just don't let me get 3-0 and beat Georgia and end up 3-0. Then that's over. Yeah, Ease your expectations, Barry. It's a long year.
Yeah, we ain't even got to week 1 over here yet, and it's
Yeah.
it could be a long year for a lot of us, honestly.
What you got on this game? You have it.
Oh, yeah, I got to go with South Carolina. Lenore Sellers, really talented kid, quarterback. Yeah, I was one of the ones that voted him as a Heisman finalist. If he can stay healthy, he's got all the tools and measurables. He's going to show off his dual threat skills here. And I hate that the guys said a lot of what I would have said, but yeah, they just have a lot more talent and a lot better athletes. They should win this game handily.
All right.
The last segment of tonight, because we've actually covered the last two while we were talking here. This one, you can make a case this is game of the week. Number 6 Notre Dame at number 10 Miami. We don't really know who's going to play at quarterback for the Notre Dame. I know they announced a starter. Who knows who this guy is, but I'm sure he's going to be talented. He's playing at Notre Dame. They've got a great supporting cast around him. And I know this might be, well, I hope it's not controversial, but Marcus Freeman, to me, is one of the best coaches in college football right now. I have been totally impressed with what he's done with Notre Dame. I mean, Brian Kelly had all the tools there, and he couldn't get it done. Marcus Freeman has taken that team to a national title, game appearance, and they did lose. But, man, they had no business, in my opinion, being in that game. I thought they were super well coached. I mean, we saw what they did to Georgia there with a great performance. But, this game boils down to what is Carson Beck going to look like and what is the Miami Hurricanes going to look like? We know that Notre Dame's going to be ready to play, and they're going to be impressive, in my opinion. They're too well coached not to be. But I think Miami's reeling, you can make an argument that their coach is on the hot seat, depending on how this year goes. It's been up and down at Miami for, it seems, years now. So Carson Beck, they throw him a Lamborghini and a cute girlfriend on the basketball team for a little while, and he signs for $4.5 million and takes his talents to South Beach like LeBron James. And the guy don't even have his arm on right now. I mean, he just got his arm put back on, stitched on last week. We'll see if he can play quarterback when it comes, to this game. But guys, I'm on the Notre Dame train. Those gold helmets are being painted right now as we speak. They're touching them up. And I can just tell you, I don't have any confidence that Miami's going to knock the gold dust off of them. Craig, what you got?
Well, Dalton, I hate to tell you, but Miami, Florida is a long way away from touchdown Jesus, buddy. I got to go with the U on that one. I think Carson Beck, you said you don't know what he's going to look like. I know he's going to look like. He's going to look ugly as sin. That's the ugliest man I've ever seen in my life. But he can throw a football. He looks like a science experiment gone wrong, but he knows how to throw a football. I don't think on paper, I'm with you. I think probably Notre Dame has a roster, but you failed to mention you don't know who the quarterback is. I know who Notre Dame wanted their quarterback to be, and he'll be dressing out on Auburn's sideline on Friday night. They wanted Deuce, and he got flipped out. He would have been starting at Notre Dame. I'm almost positive. So that's a big old question mark. I got a feeling about Miami. I think Carson, that was in the questionnaire. You said, the Heisman. I think Carson could put up some ridiculous numbers in that conference and with that schedule. If he is healthy, I mean, that's the question mark. If he comes out and his arm falls off, well, obviously, that'll change. But I think best group of physicians in the world around that area. I think he's going to be ready to go. I don't think they wasted $4 million on him as far as that goes. I think the coach is on the hot seat. I don't think laying an egg again this year is an option. I think the boosters are behind him. I think they've got NIL money they've thrown around and made some big moves. So I think they're going to have a little better roster than what you think they're going to have to begin with. And it ain't going to be South Bend. It's going to be hotter than 7 hells in Miami, Florida for this game, too.
You ain't lying.
So you got to keep that one in mind. So, I just got a feeling the U's going to roll again. And it's hard for me to say that because I've been watching that Dallas Cowboys special and watching Irvin and all that stuff. And I like the guy, but, man, I remember the U, and I wasn't a fan in the 90s. So, but I think the U's going to roll.
Havoc.
Yeah, I got to go with Craig. Carson Beck, he's a fifth-year senior this year. I think he's going to ball out for Miami like Cam Ward did. He might not win the Heisman, but I actually think he's going to come close, and they're definitely going to win this game. Now, it won't be a blowout. I don't want to overstretch and sound like a jackass. No, not going to be a blowout. It'll be a close game, but I got to go with Miami and Carson Beck, and I think Carson Beck's going to throw 3 or 4 touchdown passes in this game.
Well, he very well could. I mean, I think it's one of these games where you kind of – I think he has to, right, to kind of get his feet cemented in Miami. He's got to win this game. I mean, how in the world can you pay somebody $4.5 million and they come up and show up on campus and lose? I mean, this is unprecedented, guys. I don't think anybody has been paid this kind of money in the NIL era. I mean, like you said, the guy is uglier than sin, and somehow he's got a supermodel girlfriend for a little while. And that just goes to show, fellas, if you got money, you ain't got no problems. So, but Carson Beck's going to have a lot of problems on this night with the Notre Dame defense.
That's what now you're talking. Okay? Listen, we don't know which Carson Beck is going to show up. Okay? We don't know. And if a defense get after him, I can tell you which Carson Beck is going to show up. Okay? So I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who's gonna win that game. And if I had to bet, I put a little cash on Notre Dame because of the defense.
Hey, Barry, Notre Dame is 4-25 in the last 15 years against ranked opponents. 4-25.
Hey,
4-25 in the last 15 years. Good
Yes.
Lord.
every trend is meant to be broken. How many years has Freeman been there?
Just been there for 15. I'll give you that.
So he ain't got nothing to do with that. You know, coaching means something. Somebody, I like it. When I see him, he seems like he can get somebody fired up. Guys, you play football, you want some dogs around you, but you want a coach to give you something to believe in. Okay? So I'm just saying, we don't really know who Miami is. You know, we just don't know. That's what I love about college football today. In a lot of scenarios, we don't know. With the movement and everything's fresh, all of this, we don't know who's going to be. But I'm going to put my money on the defense of Notre Dame.
I got one more point to make. He's talking about what we don't know. What I do know is there's going to be a lot more eye candy in the stadium at a Miami football game than there would be in South Bend, Indiana. I can tell you that. That's a fact.
I mean, that's
KD, take it away.
If you don't like pasty white women, maybe, you know. I want to take Notre Dame, man. I think their defense is light years better than Miami. I want to take Notre Dame close, but they're trotting out a true freshman quarterback, man, against a fifth-year senior on the other side. The quarterback his name's C.J. Carr. He's the grandson of the legendary Lloyd Carr, ex-coach of Michigan. He was a 4-star guy. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to take Notre Dame by 3 because I hate Miami. I hate everything they've ever represented for college football. I hate Carson Beck. He looks like an alien. I hated him in Georgia. I hate his parents. I hate his grandparents. And if he's got a sister, I hate her too. So I just cannot pick Miami. So Notre Dame by 3. And I love Marcus Freeman. Great coach.
All right, Barry, you wanna add anything on this game?
No, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it with one more segment here. Each host. All right, you're gonna put a team and a coach on the chopping block for week 1. And guys, before we start and kick this off, I wanted to. I saw some comments here, and I wanted to make some statements. We are missing a couple key pieces. I've heard that Coach Price is on some interstate leading a dumpster full of dumpster juice. So wherever he's taking that dumpster juice at, we'll hear about it next week on the Chopping Block podcast. There you go. Hey, Coach Price, we love you and we need you like Hardy Chevrolet. And, we'll have you back on this show. There ain't no doubt about it. Also missing Dylan Brooks tonight, the only Georgia fan that can kind of rescue me and keep me away from the crazies here. But, and Two-Turn Tony, we already mentioned him. So we'll have those guys on this show, no doubt, for you. Oh, he's on the way to Texas, guys. So we'll have to hear that story from Coach Price when we get him back on here. But, hey, to end the show tonight, for me on the chopping block, it is the LSU Tigers and Brian Kelly. I'm going to put 1 and 1 together. I mentioned it earlier. This is a must win. I mean, Louisiana might break away and succeed from the Union if they lose this game. This is going to be everything. They're going to shut down all the Racing Canes on Saturday night or whenever this game's played. This is must win. So, Craig, who do you got on the chopping block week 1?
I mean, I got my beloved Auburn Tigers on the chopping block. It's time to shit or get off the pot. I mean, you've had 2 top 10 classes. You have arguably the best wide receiver room in the country. That defense is going to be nasty, fellas. I'm just calling it right off the bat. Defense is pretty nasty last year. They just couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. Defense is going to be nasty. You got 4 returning starters on offensive line. It's time. It's time. This is it. This is an eerie kind of Auburn kind of year where nobody's looking at them when they come up and punch you in the mouth, because that's kind of what Auburn does when they think the chips are down. Now, I'm not saying that, and we'll find out a lot against Baylor. I would love to not be flying to freaking Texas for the first game at Baylor. That's a trap game right off the jump, especially with an unproven quarterback. But regardless of what you want to think, I mean, Jackson Arnold single-handedly beat Alabama last year with a depleted Oklahoma. The kid was a 5-star plus out of a 6A school in Texas, so he lives, eats, and breathes football. If he wasn't broken in Oklahoma, this was Freeze's chance. I mean, if you can't get that kid to play with the tools you got around him, there is no excuse. I don't. Will a loss to Baylor make it where Freeze loses his job? I don't think it's that early. But a loss to Baylor and maybe one more loss to a team they shouldn't lose to in the year, and Freeze is gone, no matter what the buyout is, and we're back to square one. And Kevin will be happy. Cam Coleman could come to Alabama next year.
Look. This is why Alabama and Auburn fans in general can't get along. If me and Craig hadn't been friends since we come out the womb before we were really even football fans, we probably wouldn't even be friends. Auburn's my pick as well on the chopping block. But this whole Jackson Arnold, everything Auburn does is based on how that player, that team did against Alabama. Yes, we lost to Jackson Arnold. According to Google, his stats were 9 of 11 for 68 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He has nothing to do with beating Alabama. That was all Jalen Milroe. He had more touchdowns. How many wins Auburn would have last year? Jalen Milroe threw more touchdowns to Oklahoma than Jackson Arnold did. So, all right. So anyway, Auburn is my team. Auburn is my team on the chopping block because this is it for Hugh Freeze. Look, he has recruited a couple good classes, but this past season it almost seems like he's decided either I'm winning this year because I ain't recruiting at all. I think he's moved up to like 25 or something in the rankings, whatever. It's not good enough for Auburn. Auburn fans in general, you gotta love them. They're a perennial 8-14 year in, year out. They expect to be 10, 11 wins there year in and year out. So he's going to be on the hot seat. And if he don't win this year, he is gone. And I'm talking, he's got to win more than 8. He's going to have to beat either Georgia or Alabama or maybe both. I don't know. But he's got to show something because he has absolutely done nothing to prove he deserves any kind of coaching job. And I just don't like him. I never have. He was shady. And I think just an immoral individual when he was at Ole Miss and Liberty. And even in high school, there was allegations of him making girls change shirts in his office. high school girls. So I just think a team is a representation of their coach, and I've never liked Hugh Freeze. So I think it's his year, or Auburn's going to be looking for another coach.
KD, before I throw it to Havoc, the Lord was really looking out for you when he put Hugh Freeze in Auburn. You already hated Auburn and you hated Hugh Freeze, so he was just like, "Hey, we're gonna see how mad this will make Kevin Davis right here, and let him deal with it for a couple years." So,
and I'm glad, because I liked Gene Chizik a lot. I was glad to see him leave Auburn because I liked him. I think he got the shaft at Auburn like every head coach at Auburn ever had. Pat Dye, great coach. Terry Bowden, loved him. But yeah, Hugh Freeze is just on another level. I probably don't like him more than any person in college football.
Say how you really feel.
Well, I got to go with, even though I picked them to beat Notre Dame, Miami. I'm putting the heat on them, and specifically Carson Beck. This is their chance to bring themselves back to prominence. You got your guy, spent $4 million in NIL. And for Carson Beck, it's his fifth year senior, championship experience. The pressure, the heat's on him in Miami.
Barry.
You already said it. It's Brian Kelly. And I pray to God, when that little short motherfucker get out of Baton Rouge, they let me drive him. I want to be the one to drive him to the airport. I'm going to kick his ass and get locked up by TSA, and then somebody going to bail me out, and I'm going to come home and eat some gumbo. Brian Kelly, man. Brian Kelly need to go. He just not, just bring us Coach O back. Just give us him. I don't even like Coach O, but just give us Coach O. He at least light a fire. You know who
LSU could have had?
Who?
Lane Kiffin.
Oh man.
Yeah. And Jimbo Fisher.
And
don't tell me that. If you give LSU Lane, I love Lane, man. I don't know what about Lane.
Yeah, if Lane got,
like he said, get your popcorn.
If y'all got Lane Kiffin, I wouldn't even talk to you until he got fired or left.
I'm telling you.
I'd block your numbers.
I think Brian Kelly really has to. He got to make the playoffs at least, I just think they just need to fire him already. To be honest with you, talking about putting him on a hot seat, just like talking about giving somebody, who not done the most dreadful thing, probation. He just need to go.
And I don't understand it. When he was at Notre Dame, man, he was like, Notre Dame has actual academic restrictions that they have to follow. You figure going to a place like LSU or any SEC team, for that matter, you could get unlimited talent and get him over the hump. But even when he came into LSU, he come in with a fake LSU Baton Rouge accent. He's just not a real person.
No, he's not. And he had a whole pocket full of beignets and it has fucking gumbo on his face. I'm like, man, if you don't get your ass out of here, yeah. So I think it's him. I just think that, but I will say, I believe this is his last shot. He may know it, and I just want to see what my boy's gonna do. I can't promise nobody nothing. I don't know. Like I say, from year to year, you really don't know what these teams are, man. Every one of us, if we're being honest, we would say right now, we don't know what our team is.
No.
We know what we hope they'll be, but we don't know what they are. And we have won a whole show. Has anybody even mentioned Georgia?
I was thinking that just right now, Barry.
Does Kirby where have we fallen where we can talk an hour and 20 minutes and not mention the Georgia Bulldogs?
You know why? NIL has finally caught up. Georgia and Alabama are no longer stacking talent against everybody. Everybody's got it now. And
it is. I think it's this weekend is so loaded, and Georgia's playing Marshall. It's almost like, the last couple of years we have had some pretty good opening games. We had Oregon, we had Clemson a couple times there. So Hey, it's nice to be a Georgia fan this weekend. Sit on the back burner, go play some golf in the morning. 12 o'clock, turn on Big Noon kickoff on Fox and watch Ohio State and Texas. And hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably ain't gonna watch Georgia at 3:30. They some other games that I'm a little bit more interested in. I'm gonna maybe have it, the stat line pulled up and see how it's going, but we know how it's gonna go. But hey, guys, I wanted to say what a first show it was to have everybody back here in the Chopping Block podcast. And man, it's been a long time coming to have this episode, and it's a blessing to be back on here with you guys. And it's also a blessing to be back in the great state of Georgia. I just moved back here in June, so been a great couple months here, and hopefully we can have a great Saturday. First Georgia game back here in Georgia, so I'm excited for it, ready to watch it with some of you guys, and we'll have a great Saturday. I think I'm on CO2 Turn Tony, and we're gonna do some nice food and stuff. But hey, Chopping Block Podcast, we appreciate all the fans watching. Had a lot of people on here tonight, and saw a lot of comments come through. We're going to be here next Wednesday night at 7:30, live on Facebook and YouTube. And then next week, we're going to throw in a segment as well, because Thursday night, the National Football League starts. And it's going to be a great season, as it always is. And we appreciate y'all joining. But, Barry, send us home.
Yeah, we about to do it. Watch us